So how come, you and I have talked offline a little bit,
Yeah.
and I've learned more about what you do, and so we all need to be accountable. We
Yes.
all need to be accountable in our lives. But do you think finances, and as we manage let's leave the business side of it out for a second. Start with personal finances. Like, how does somebody hold themselves accountable when it comes to their own checkbook?
Well, first of all, it's really realizing what's necessary and what's important, and then what are your needs and wants. So needs, important; wants, not so important. So picture it like a cake, right? In a cake, you have the basic of the cake. The frosting is just the extra, and that's all the things that people are spending their extra money on. And it's really knowing that. So if you're taking your checkbook and you're balancing it and you're saying, this is how much income I have, this is how much debt I have, this is how much is going towards savings, towards retirement, towards investing, what's left over so I can make sure that that money is now the things that I would like to do. But oftentimes than not, people are spending too much on what they want to do instead of the needs. And so I'm sure you've heard that saying, I'm sure everyone here has heard the saying of, there's more a month left over at the end of the month, at the end of the paycheck, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, I can't do this. And it's really just having that mindset of like, this is important, I need to fulfill this, and then I want this.
Isn't it funny how big of a mindset is so big when it comes to money?
Yes.
Even now as a business owner, and we'll talk about that for a moment or two, but it's how our relationship with money and how we look at it. And I mean, I'm kind of hearing from what you're saying now is nice to have versus need to have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And people, do you think budgeting and doing these steps that you're talking about right now is a painful exercise for most people? Like, it's just hard to do?
Yeah.
Or?
It's painful because they don't have that mindset of, I need to actually invest in the future. And I think our society has just kind of washed our brains out with different reality shows and different keeping up with whoever, right?
That's a good point. Are some of those shows, are they bad for us? Like, is
I
it
don't
bad
watch TV, so sorry whoever does watch TV. But what you're doing is you're saying, like, I want it now. We're in that microwave effect instead of, I joke around, I'm like, let's be a crock pot. With the crock pot, all the flavors going in, everything's being where you want it to be, and it just sits there. The flavor sits there, and then when you bite into it, it's like the most tastiest thing. But a microwave, it's quick, and you're like, oh.
No flavor? Not good.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
All right, so when I think of being accountable, so that's really helpful. That's a good point,
Yeah.
and I think it's applicable to so many of us. Another thing about what's your take on saving money for the future versus spending money today?
100% save for the future.
Can I?
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. I'm going to need to hear what you say on this because I want to tee this up. So here's one thing, and this is me.
Yeah.
I admit this, and my friends who know me well know this about me. So I'm a big believer in, live for today. Let's not. Now, of course, we need to save, and we need to save for the future. But I also am like, I'm not so much into the, oh my gosh, let me save all this money so that when I'm 70, if I'm alive, then I'll spend it. Why wouldn't I want to live right now? So what's your whole take on that?
Yeah, so obviously don't spend all your money for the future. It's kind of breaking it down for you have the basics of your needs, saving for a short-term goal, mid-term goal, and long-term goals. So most Americans, for example, they save more for a week vacation than they do like their future, right?
True.
So if you're asking yourself, I want to, for example, purchase a home, and you're saying, I'm going to purchase this home, but I don't have an emergency fund, well, God forbid, then you break your leg and you need to get surgery. What's the most important thing right there now? Obviously, you need to pay for that surgery opposed to that house. So yes, live for the moment, but it's a matter of understanding, like, do I have money left over then to do it? So there's two kinds of people in the world. There's spenders and there's savers. I, by nature, am a spender. Like, I love to spend. But that's why, like, I guess working in the financial world, I'm kind of like, okay, what do I need to do to set aside to make sure that I'm saving and the goals that I'm trying to fulfill as well, too. So 20% of your earnings should go towards savings.
That's pretty standard, right?
Yeah. So if you just have that in your mind, so if there's $100 and you put $20 towards savings, then you're good.
And part of what you're saying too is don't be house poor.
Yeah.
Don't go into a mortgage unless you have, a certain percentage or a certain amount saved for other things that might come up.
Yeah.
Do you think we put too much stock into home ownership these days? What's your take on that?
Yeah, not everyone's equipped to be a homeowner. Like, let's be honest, it's not. If every single person was supposed to be a homeowner, there wouldn't be landlords.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone, like, yes, it's the American dream that people want to own a house and, they want the whole shebang. But it's all a matter of asking yourself, do I see this home as a long term? If it is, then maybe it is right for you to own a home. Or maybe you could get yourself a condo, an apartment, or whatever it is.
Totally.
I mean, long term, 100%, yes, it's always better to earn opposed to paying someone else's mortgage. Mm. But you got to ask yourself, are you in the right place to actually own a home opposed to renting?
Why don't you take a sec and tell the folks too, real quick, your name and what you do right now, who you work for.
Cool. So my name's Omama Marzuq, and I work for Concord Wealth Management. I'm an advisor with them, and I help people with their finances. So whether it's short-term, mid-term, long-term goals, that's what I do. You can add me on LinkedIn.
She's not
I'm
Facebook
not on Facebook.
user.
Sorry, not on Facebook. But you can add me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty easy to find. I'll actually give Scott my information so you can put it out there. But yeah, add me, connect.
And she is on Instagram.
And Instagram, yes.
We'll have to put that in the comments too. We'll put your handle in there. So last question I have to add, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this as a career coach.
Yeah.
So how fulfilling is your job as a financial advisor, and what, we better watch our stand, take your hands off. That's my thing. What about your job do you find really fulfilling? All right, and what do you look to get the most out of? Is it helping people in their financial world, or what brings you fulfillment from what you do?
Honestly, knowing what people's goals are, it's the most exciting thing when people are sitting down, and so, and I actually get a lot of people that are always changing jobs and careers, and they're like, okay, well, what do I do next? And obviously, if your clients are doing good, then you do good, right? But it's knowing their goals. It's knowing, like, what are they striving for? The financial part of it is just a stepping stone. It's just a tool. So picture it like a hammer or a nail. It's just the tool that they're going to use to fulfill whatever they're doing in their life. But everything relates to finances. So if you're looking to join the gym and you're like, oh, I want to get my sexy summer body on. Summer's over, so you guys have the rest of the year to do it.
How about our sexy fall body?
Our sexy fall body, right? Mm-hmm. It's a matter of saying, okay, well, what are the steps that I need to take to do so? So it's working towards something and helping my clients be able to actually see that dream and fruition come to life. That's the most exciting part. Coming up with the plan, coming up with the solutions for them, that's all a part of the mix. But knowing what their goals are and then seeing them light up, and seeing them save and seeing them say, like, hey, I was able to buy this house, or I just paid off some debt, or hey, I'm able to invest more, or I just got a promotion, or all these good things. I mean, bad things happen too, but all the good things, and seeing them light up about it, that's the most exciting, fulfilling part of my job.
Thanks for sharing that. That's seriously, I mean, I love to hear what it is that lights people up in their job. And that sounds so heartfelt too. Like you really can get as you touch. And I know you're a goals person. Yeah. So you love that part. You know what? Let's end on this. Let's go. So LinkedIn Local. If you guys are in Boston, if any of you watch this now or later, Omama is very involved in the LinkedIn Local here in Boston. So tell them about the next one.
So September 12th, make sure you sign up, and we'll actually send you guys the link for that. So the purpose of LinkedIn Local is to get the conversations offline. More often than not, people engage online, which is great, but who's having that human connection? I actually just posted something the other day. I was on the train, and I took a picture of it because every single person was on their phone. Every single person.
Oh, man, I believe it.
And then I looked over to go talk to the woman that was sitting next to me. I actually liked her shoes, and I was going to give her a comment. And I was like, oh, hey. And she's like, shh. I just looked at her, and she's like, shh. No talking on the train.
You're kidding. Like, was she listening to something or on a call?
She was just looking at her phone. So have that human interaction, this face-to-face. That's the purpose of LinkedIn Local.
Face-to-face here, too.
Face-to-face, all live. But having that human connection, and all the proceeds that we make is going to a local charity. We'll give you guys that information later of who it's going to go to.
Sure.
Scott actually spoke at the last one, and people loved it. So yeah, come through September 12th.
Awesome. We'll put the link, we'll put your handles in the comments, and we'll put the link to, is there an Eventbrite for the LinkedIn
Yes.
local?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
We
you.
have to go, we're going right next door to a meeting, and it is hot as Hades in here. Have you noticed that? I feel like we got
Yeah.
studio lights on us. So we're checking out. We'll see y'all again real soon.
Bye.
Look her up on LinkedIn and Instagram. She's really good. Bye.
Bye.